Hello, and welcome to a guide for what is probably the best Twisted Fate deck in competitive Legends of Runeterra right now. I'm talking about the TF Lee Sin deck, which has been making the rounds recently. It placed high on Ladder, Jewels of Runeterra, Maverick's tournament, and came second in Twitch Rivals, just to name a few places you can see it in action. Today, I'm going to be going over the core cards, general matchup tables you can expect, as well as the strengths and weaknesses the deck offers, a mulligan strategy for all the common matchups, and to round it all off, basic structure of your early, mid and late game play patterns. If you want to see more content like this in the future, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, as well as catch me streaming on twitch.tv/PrestoTCG if you want to see me making and refining more interesting decks like this in the future for the top level of Legends of Runeterra competition. Let's get into it. This deck is essentially a value engine with a combo package designed to either outlast or overpower any opponent it faces. It has a few key cards and then rounds that off with synergy based cards that are designed to either enhance or proactively move forward the game plan the deck offers. The key cards to be playing around are as follows. TF provides the deck with basically everything it would ever want. It can board wipe, it can draw cards, and it can stall. But most importantly, when he levels up, he takes over the game on his own. And the great thing about this deck is, he levels up really fast. Utilize cards such as Black Market Merchant, Shadow Assassin, and Key Guardian to help level up TF early. When he's close to leveling up, utilize your draw 2 cards such as Pilfered Goods and Deep Meditation to finish the job. Remember, TF doesn't care whose deck he draws from. Once he is leveled up, wreak havoc on your opponent's board by playing 3 card combos, wiping the board and dealing direct damage at the same time. Most opponents will not be able to survive a level TF being on the board for a few turns. The deck has many of the play 2 spell synergy cards in it, but the main value engine are these 2 cards. Eye of the Dragon allows you to stabilize and survive versus any aggro deck, and Claws of the Dragon also allows you to stabilize, but it gives you push through for control matchups. Utilize cards such as Key Guardian on your Claws of the Dragon to allow it to come out burst speed and attack or defend. And use things such as Sonic Boom to allow your Dragonlings from Eye of the Dragon to attack and heal you for 4 while killing a unit. Another key feature of this deck is the Klepto package, which is a powerful 2 card combo which allows you to steal your opponent's deck and play those cards at a cheaper rate. A large part of this deck comes from outvaluing your opponent massively. Don't underestimate this little merchant. He can be used to level up TF or simply win the game on his own through sheer value generation. Turns out most people don't like playing against their own cards. So you might have been wondering why I haven't mentioned this guy yet. Well, he's more of a payoff when the deck goes well rather than a core card. Think of Lee Sin as the Tryndamere of this deck. He comes down when the game's stabilized, he's basically unkillable and he starts messing with the opponent. But in order to get that to happen, you need to stabilize first. Let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this deck. You will outdraw and outvalue basically any other deck in the game right now. You are very disruptive to a lot of core strategies with cards such as Will of Ionia and Deny. This deck is very proactive and it can often force other decks to play its game rather than the other way around. The deck has a premium early game removal package. Fast decks just often cannot finish you off. And finally, stealing cards is always fun. Now, let's move on to the weaknesses. What I mean by this is that you are on a timer for how long you have to win versus late game decks. If you cannot find a win condition, you will either run out of steam or straight up deck out. Be careful about this. You have great early game removal tools, but it is almost entirely AoE ping damage. What I mean by this is, it is almost all little bits of damage to your opponent's whole board. When your opponent starts to play big dudes, you only have one option left: stall. And finally, this isn't the easiest deck to play on the ladder because it has a huge amount of decision trees to be thinking about every time you play the deck. Luckily, by watching this guide, you should be in tip-top shape to be able to go and own some noobs on the ladder. So, now that we understand the deck's strengths and weaknesses, we can understand that the deck has a very flexible playstyle. Against fast decks, you can take your time and outlast them. A skilled pilot can abuse their experience and understanding of each matchup to secure really high win rates with the deck. In order to let you guys do that, let's talk about the specific matchups. In general, you should be favored against Bannerman. Utilize your key stall cards early on, such as the Of the Dragon cards, to enable you to survive their initial onslaught and heal up a bit. Hold your Will of Ionia to prevent Garen leveling up and to save you from Unyielding Spirit. In the mid game, you will outvalue them with your draw engines and slowly grind them out of existence. One important thing to remember with this matchup is, if you manage to level up your TF, you almost always win because of the flexibility he offers. Another aggressive matchup, but this one runs out of steam even quicker. The only card you need to look for in order to win this game is Eye of the Dragon. If you manage to stick this card down and protect it with things like Retreat, you are 90% of the way there to winning this game. Endure is an interesting deck because it leans on looking aggressive with a go wide plan, but then finishes off with the combo plan of Endure and Atrocity. As long as you play around their wide board with cards like TF and Make It Rain, and then protect yourself from their combo plan with cards like Will of Ionia and Deny, you should have no problem beating this matchup. The Karina matchup is actually super interesting, and it requires a lot of skill from both participants in this game. In reality, you can't really kill them before they start playing their 9 mana followers, but even when they play their 9 mana followers, they're going to have a hard time killing you. Save your Deny for the first big Ledros if you're able to, and then utilize your finishers such as Lee Sin to slow their tempo and get through before they're able to heal up. Your Klepto package is also really good in this matchup, because a lot of their cards can be used really well against them. There are lots of very different PNZ Ionia decks going around at the moment, but they all have the ability to kill your units and finish you off in an explosive fashion. Our best friend in this matchup is the Klepto package, because PNZ cards are so strong that stealing them can often win you the game. Fight the board early and channel your inner burn player to win this matchup. This is a hard matchup. In reality, they have the ability to fight the board as early as you, but their late game package is stronger. The best way to beat this deck is to utilize and protect Lee Sin in order to stop their tempo and never allow 2 champions of theirs to be on the board at the same time. Don't be afraid to use Will of Ionia just as a tempo play versus this deck. In general, you want to keep your early game proactive options in order to enable you to have a good early curve while surviving and drawing as many cards as you can. Eye of the Dragon is a great tool in order to allow you to fight the board early without investing too much into it. Shadow Assassin is just a very proactive body plus draw effect. Meditation is a great keep early on because it enables you to start your early game snowball draw win conditions. And Parlay is your cheapest spell, which also serves as a removal tool and a plunder trigger. Against aggro, you want a more explosive early game. Key Guardian and Claws of the Dragons can allow you to basically 3-for-1 anything early on, and it is a cheap burst spell which will allow you to activate your 2 spell triggers. Against control, you either want to position yourself as the aggressor by looking for your Assassins and Claws of the Dragon, or position yourself as the value generator by looking for all your draw cards. It depends on the matchup and experience you have, so give both a try and see how you feel. Look for your early proactive plays such as Eye and Assassin. Use cheap removal early if you have to, but ideally you should be trying to save as much spell mana as possible so that you can use them for your very powerful turn 4 to 6 turns. You should be looking to bank up your draw cards early to use them in conjunction with TF, or just combo them all off at the same time to create massive value swings. Utilize your amazing draw engines with TF in order to level him up and create pressure. Protect TF with cards like Key Guardian, Retreat and Deny. Don't be afraid to use Sonic Wave on TF in order to secure easy kills with his quick attack. If you can't protect TF early on, it's still really great to utilize your Klepto package in order to explode out with value. Most decks can't handle you drawing 3 extra cards a turn. You should be looking to finish the game with cards such as TF, Lee Sin and any cards you've managed to steal, which are great win conditions. Remember, your cards are low impact value generators for the most part. What this means is, even if you have way more cards than your opponent, the impact of each individual card will be less than what your opponent is playing. Due to this, you are the one that often has to win the game. You need to be proactive here. Don't be afraid to use all your cards in a turn in order to generate massive tempo swings. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. Remember, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And any comment you write in this video, I will be replying to. For now, I'll leave you with this question. What do you think is the best TF card?